How's it going, everyone? Joey here, and I'm joined by Don, who is all the way across the world at Gamescom. Don, you got to play two games that I'm very interested in playing, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and Sonic Superstars. First, let's talk about Prince of Persia. This is the first time in a very long time that we're getting a Prince of Persia game. So tell me, based on your experience with it, is it a yay? Is it a nay? Is it somewhere in the middle? I gots to know.
So I played the demo about 3 times, about roughly an hour now, and I will say that it's everything that I really wanted it to be, even far more exceeding my expectations, because obviously there was some resistance to it when this game was first announced, like a weird disinterest from people about this game. And I will say honestly, this is one of the better 2D Metroidvanias, at least from the demo, that I played in a while. It reminds me a lot of Metroid Dread, not in every single sense, because it's far more combat focused, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but it really nails the parry system in a similar vein to Metroid Dread, where you have to be pinpoint and precise, and you cannot linger along. You have to do it like to a point, to a degree, to a science, and I think that is what I appreciate the most about it. It tries to be still different in some ways by being more combat focused, but it's pinpointy and precise and fun.
That's exactly the vibe I got from the trailers, especially the Metroid Dread comparison. Of course, the fact that the art styles are very similar, not just 2D, but like 3D animated, cel shaded. And yeah, that was weird when it was announced and people were pushing back against it. I'm just like, guys, this is the first time in like over a decade you're getting a new Prince of Persia game and you react like this. I just don't get it. And it's very cool to see that they're returning to kind of to its roots, although the original Prince of Persia games weren't exactly Metroidvanias at all. They were like 2D, like physics-based sort of games from what I remember. Have you played Prince of Persia games before? I have never once played a Prince of Persia game in my life, but after seeing The Lost Crown, this might be the game that gets me into the franchise.
I played definitely the older ones, and I played some that released on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. I think the one that has the most memories for me is Prince of Persia 2008 on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Fantastic game. Love the art style, love that game. But especially now with The Lost Crown, this seems to be far more standalone and far more its own ideals and thing. And I say this because, yeah, it's a Metroidvania, but also the combat is so interesting because you have your dual sword gameplay, but you also have like a boomerang, and you have your arrows, which are surprisingly, they are limited. You can only have like 10 in your inventory, and they replenish during certain points of the game, similar to your rockets from Metroid. But you need to be so safe with them that you know what you want to do with them. And it makes every action you do so interesting, because there's also like still the wall jumps and the obstacles that you've gone with the sliding. So every action that you do is ensuring that you simply don't perish halfway through a level.
Everything you're telling me just makes me more excited for this game. And I'm very happy to see Ubisoft take a chance on something like this, because Ubisoft games these past few years, I feel like they've just been playing it very, very safe, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
But here they are. They're not only revisiting a franchise that people have been dying for them to visit for a long time, because we all know that Prince of Persia remake's going to take God knows how long at this point.
Yeah.
So now they're tiding us over with this 2D Metroidvania style game and releasing it on like pretty much every platform. And for, I think the United States price is $50, so it's not exactly a $60 or $70 release, but it's still like up there. So I take it you're pretty excited for this game after playing that demo?
Oh my god, yeah, I am. Even with the boss at the end, or like the little things where you have certain points in the game where there's a tree and you replenish your health there. Like, it takes a lot of cues from Metroid in the correct way, like more of being an homage than being a straight like rip-off or anything else, because it does so interesting, unique things with its combat design that overall I just had a blast with it, and I want to play that demo again tomorrow and then record it and then show all of you. But man, I'm just really impressed by it. I honestly am far more than I thought it would be.
and you got to play it on Switch and PC. And it seems like, from what I've seen at least, the game runs great on Switch. It was kind of made for Switch, with other platforms like being kind of upscaled for it. Sounds like that makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, it does.
Yeah, I mean, even though I don't really leave the house much, I still feel like I gotta get it on Switch because, just brand loyalty and whatnot. But speaking of 2D games, though, another highly anticipated 2D game coming out this year in October. Or is it October? I forgot the release date.
October 17th.
They say it was coming out October 17th. Oh, what a week. Same week as Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Crazy. Sonic Superstars. My goodness. A brand new 2D Sonic game. First one since Sonic Mania, at least. And it's sporting that 3D art style, but on a 2D plane. So tell me, after playing that demo, is this game a yay or a nay? Or is it somewhere in the middle?
It's definitely a yay. I will say I played that demo 4 times. So I played it at Xbox, I played it at the Nintendo booth, and then I played it 2 more times, again, at the Sega booth. There are 2 levels. There's more the Green Zone-esque level, and there is more of a jungle level. Both levels take a lot of cues from what made the original Sonic games good. So you have the half precise platforming gameplay, but also the speedy elements of it that Sonic is known for. You have the special stages, where you get, for example, you drop down from a huge height, you go sideways with the same speed, you string yourself along through orbs and try to get to the Chaos Emerald as close as possible, which gives you special powers. And then also those special powers with the Chaos Emerald, one that I've seen through the demo is that you turn yourself kind of like a whitish blue and go across a stream and again go to a higher plane through a waterfall. There are so many little elements and tweaks and interesting gameplay features that make every level about as packed as possibly can be. Even though the timer will say 2 minutes in zone 1 of the first level that you play, the actual time that you spend at level is easily double that because of the variety of special stages that you actually are yourself involved with.
What I really am interested in, Don, are the controls. If there's a game series where controls matter the most, it's Sonic, I feel like. And
yes.
I think that's a huge topic that's discussed whenever a new Sonic game is announced. I've been hearing through the grapevine that this game plays almost exactly like Sonic Mania, which is just a beautifully controlled game. And I know Sonic games in the past, especially in their 2D sections, even Frontiers, I feel like the 2D sections just don't control all that well. But is this true, Don? Does this game control like a dream?
It controls far more than Sonic Mania than Frontiers, that's for sure. I will say there is a bit more weight to the controls, a bit, not much, but a bit. But overall, it's how a 2D game should feel properly.
That's really good to hear. That is fantastic to hear, and I think that's what a lot of people might have been concerned about when this game was announced, because basically a lot of fans wanted Sonic Mania 2, and I can't blame them for wanting Sonic Mania 2. But from everything that I've been hearing, not just from you, but from other people as well, is that this feels like a 2D Sonic game done right.
Yes. I mean, there's also, once again, a lot of stuff going on. The circling around special stages with the collecting the medals is back. There's also a lot of play with the foreground and background because it's 3D, so they are able to do that. There is more variety in what you see on screen, and I think that is crucial. I don't think so. The only thing that gives me pause a bit are the bosses. Not that they're bad, but obviously the Green Zone-esque level ends with another Eggman robot that you fight. And maybe 2D platformers are meant to focus on their boss fights, but it always feels like a very similar strategy where you hit the back of a Eggman robot and you defeat it. And sometimes I feel that play could be more souped up a little bit, but the way at least how they're souping up the 2D gameplay itself with the different elements that you see across the level, that has me very excited about the game.
That's really cool. I imagine it'll be better than Sonic the Hedgehog 4, episodes 1 and 2. But it sounds like from this demo that you played, of course, it's just a demo. The full experience has yet to be even reviewed or considered. It still sounds like Sega is making the right call with this game, Sonic Team, and I forget the name of the other developer involved in this process. Arzest, yes. And from what I understand, this is mostly an Arzest game. At least that's what Takashi Iizuka said. Sounds like they're doing everything right so far.
I mean, RSS is consistently getting better at making their own games feel right. And I would never say that none of their games feel absolutely terrible to play, but I think they just needed focus and direction. And I feel that this is the most coherent they have ever been, because it feels like they are clearly getting directions from some people within Sega from how to go from point A to point B in a Sonic game. And I feel that they are nailing that to a T so far.
That's really good to hear. I know a lot of people are hoping for another win for Sonic because, I mean, you know, Sonic's been on an upward spiral since, you know, the movie came out. So I'm not too concerned about this game at all. Everything you've been telling me sounds like it's another hit. We're going to have a 2D Sonic and a 2D Mario in the same week. That's going to be insane. And they both sound like they're going to be promising games.
I would say that I didn't even talk about the playable characters, because I played a bit as Sonic, I played a bit as Amy, and a bit as Tails. And while they all feel exactly the same, I'm just really impressed with how they individually feel to play and how they operate and how you interact with them. And it seems like they have mostly parity between them, which makes the co-op not for one person lesser or overpowered.
Got it. Yeah, they seem like they play the same. I mean, we always talk about Sonic being the fastest creature alive in these games, right? But Tails, Amy, and Knuckles all run at the same speed. Is Sonic that special, really? I mean, even Eggman runs super fast. Come on. But thank you so much, Don, for telling me about your Gamescom experience. Very excited to hear more of what you got going on at the show within the next day. Yeah, keep it locked here to GameXplain for more on Prince of Persia and Sonic Superstars, as well as other stuff potentially from Gamescom. But until next time, everyone, bye-bye.